On Wednesday morning, Donald Trump woke up in a horrible mood because he's just always in a bad mood, absolutely miserable person in spite of the fact that he has everything in the world. And he decided to take out his anger on George Soros because apparently Donald Trump is only just now getting in on the Republican conspiracy that George Soros funds everyone and everything on the left, including protesters. So based on this widely debunked Republican conspiracy theory that George Soros is paying people to go and protest Trump, Donald Trump got out there on Truth Social and basically threatened to undo the First Amendment because he's so angry about this conspiracy. Here's what Trump wrote. George Soros and his wonderful radical left son should be charged with RICO because of their support of violent protests and much more, all throughout the United States of America. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore, never giving it so much as a chance to breathe and be free. Soros and his group of psychopaths have caused great damage to our country. That includes his crazy West Coast friends. Be careful, we're watching you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, a lot to unpack. First and foremost, George Soros isn't paying anyone to protest. George Soros does not fund as much as Republicans think, and yet that is their only boogeyman on the left these days. And it has been for, over a decade. Anytime a Democrat does something or there's a Democratic organization, George Soros is funding it. No, he's funding it. He's funding it. He's funding it. Look, I've been a part of many different groups on the left, media outlets, all kinds of things. And every one of them has, of course, approached George Soros like, can you help us out and give us money? And he said no every time. Every single damn time. So for the record, I have no love for the guy. These were great organizations, environmental groups and the like. And again, media outlets. He wouldn't do anything. So he does not fund all of the things that Republicans like to think he does. But we've only got one billionaire on our side, and that is George Soros. He does fund candidates in some, organizations, or at least he used to. Republicans, on the other hand, had the three wealthiest people on the planet sitting right next to Donald Trump for his inauguration. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg. Republicans have billionaires in New York. They have billionaires in Las Vegas. They have billionaires in California. They have billionaires down in Florida. They have billionaires in Virginia and Washington, D.C. Republicans have billionaires everywhere who fund every friggin' thing on the right. I mean, every new little right-wing startup you see, there is a billionaire funding it. We don't have that on the left. I kind of wish we did. We have to grow organically. They get corporate sponsors before they even have a name for their damn company. So I am sick and tired of hearing Republicans sounding alarms about George Soros when we had the world's richest man serving right next to Donald Trump, pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into his 2024 campaign. You are the psychopath and the lunatic if you're talking about George Soros while Elon Musk ran the country for 5 months. Also, if George Soros, was actually paying people to protest, we would know, right? Because we've had hundreds of thousands of people in the streets just this year. Just this year. I think actually millions. Don't you think if every one of them were getting paid, a Republican operative would have infiltrated? Or maybe one of these people getting paid would brag about it? Open their mouth, say something to somebody they shouldn't have said something to. But you mean to tell me, Donald, that over all these years that Republicans have been screaming that George Soros is funding protesters, not one of those protesters opened their mouths and said anything to anyone that, hey, George Soros paid me to be there? Wow. You mean to tell me we actually have tens of millions of tight-lipped people in this country who can keep a secret? That's amazing to me. And an organization so tight that Republicans can't infiltrate it? That's shocking to me. And of course, it is completely unbelievable. That is an actual impossible scenario. That's how we know George Soros isn't doing any of this. Then, third, Americans have a right to protest. That is the First Amendment. It's part of it. We have that right. And even if George Soros were paying people to do this, That's not even illegal. That's not a crime. There is no name for that because it doesn't exist in the law books. So even if he were doing what you claim he's doing, even though he's not doing it, it wouldn't be illegal. And clamping down on that would, of course, be a violation of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Because George Soros, according to the Supreme Court, the money he spends, hey, that's a version of free speech too. So he's allowed to pay people to do that. It's not just not illegal, it has been given the green light by the Supreme Court, Citizens United and McCutcheon. So you don't have a legal leg to stand on, Donald. But here's why he's doing it. He's trying to create a chilling effect. He already has his troops deployed. He's going to have more troops deployed in various U.S. cities, and they're not there to crack down on violent crime. Instead, what they're there to do is wait for the protesters to show up. Then they get them. Then they start arresting. Then Donald Trump truly becomes the dictator of the United States. That's what this post is all about. Warning people that I will have my military Gestapo lock you up if you go to the streets and protest me. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, we're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.